and welcome to a fresh new episode of Science Monitor, our weekly update on all that is happening in the field of science and technology in and around the country. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor. Well, did you know that the drug morphine was first marketed to the general public in 1817 as an analgesic and also as a treatment for opium and alcohol addiction? Well, we all know that morphine is highly addictive. So what can be the alternative? We will tell you all that, but first, the headlines. A wonder drug from African folk medicine offers a new ray of hope for non-addictive pain relief. India's military power enhanced. DRDO test fires Agni 5 successfully. The much-awaited National Science Film Festival, the Rashtriya Vigyan Chalchitra Mela organized in Lucknow. And in tech, you can use smartphones to be the eyes of the visually challenged. Today in focus are the many challenges and perils of space travel. We will tell you all about the difficult life of astronauts. And now the news in detail. Around the world, morphine is the drug of choice to treat pain. Despite their toxic effects and addictive nature, morphine and its related compounds have been used for pain relief for nearly 4 millennia now. However, scientists in search of effective, less addictive alternatives have stumbled upon an African folk medicine that offers a new ray of hope. Can the wonder compound ibogaine become the future of pain therapy? Let us explore.
Morphine or morphine sulfate is the gold standard for painkillers used worldwide. A strong compound belonging to the family of opiates stands scheduled in the WHO model list of essential medicines. It is a drug of choice to treat pains ranging from burns, terminal pain, cancer-related pain to post-operative pain. But the extraordinary power of this compound to dull pain doesn't compensate the serious side effects and addiction associated with its usage. Researchers have been trying for years to develop a suitable substitute for morphine. Under such circumstances, analogous of a compound called ibogaine, a popular African folk medicine, may be the answer. Analogous of ibogaine is the discovery of Dr. Surajit Sinha and his team working at the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science, Kolkata.
There is no replacement in the whole world. People use till now actually morphine. Now morphine has a lot of side effects and morphine also has addiction properties, but there is no replacement. Now doctor actually, if this type of pain comes, then doctor actually see first the body physiological conditions and all these things, then prescribe the drug. Now in this condition, remember, morphine basically given through intravenous injection or intracranial injection.
The team has developed a substitute of morphine from ibogaine which is derived from a plant called Tabernacle boga. Ibogaine is much popular in Africa for its anti-addictive properties and pain-killing effects. The newly synthesized compound is structurally distinct from morphine but at the same time clings to the specific brain receptors for effective non-addictive pain therapy. The drug also overcomes the side effects of morphine that ranges from breathing disorders to malfunctioning of pancreas, gallbladder, thyroid gland and kidneys. The compound has undergone the first phase of study and has been declared safe and indigenous. According to experts, apart from pain relief property, ibogaine can also be used as a drug withdrawal medicine. The team is working towards creating several analogues to improve the drug-like properties of the compound.
Thanks to the untiring efforts and persistence of researchers, India has emerged as a missile superpower in the last few decades. On 31st of January, DRDO added another feather in its cap when it successfully test-launched Agni 5, its longest-range ballistic missile, for the third time. Significantly, the nuclear-capable missile was launched from a canister, giving it higher road mobility and making it ready for launch from anywhere in India.
After the Mars mission and the regional navigation satellite system, now the Agni 5. India has proven the strength of its indigenous technologies once again. Adding to the country's prized military assets, the Agni 5 was successfully test launched for the third time off the Odisha coast. Agni 5 is the longest range ballistic missile tested by the researchers of the Defence Research and Development Organization. The missile, which underwent a flawless auto-launch, was launched from a canister in Vila Island, Odisha. Agni 5, the most advanced missile of the Agni series, incorporates many new technologies for navigation, guidance, warhead and engine. Agni 5 is a three-stage solid propellant missile about 17 meters long and weighing 50 tons. The missile is designed to reach a height of about 800 kilometers above the ground. With a range of 5,000 kilometers, the nuclear-capable missile can carry a warhead in the east as far as all of China and in the west all over Europe. The development of Agni 5 began in 2009 and according to the DRDO, it will likely be inducted this year. The basic versions of Agni 5 were successfully tested in 2012 and 2013. However, the missile can be launched only on direct orders from the Prime Minister, and India hopes to use the missile only as a weapon of peace and not for war.
Drawing a large crowd of enthusiastic science filmmakers and students from across the nation, the 5th Rashtriya Vigyan Chalchitra Mela began on the 4th of this month in Lucknow. The festival was inaugurated by noted filmmaker Muzaffar Ali. This National Science Film Festival is organized by Vigyan Prasar every year to encourage and award science filmmakers in the country.
Visual medium can play a crucial role in spreading public awareness, especially on topics related to science and technology and scientific temper. Rashtriya Vigyan Chalchitra Mela, also popular as National Science Film Festival and Competition, is conducted annually by Vigyan Prasar under the aegis of Department of Science and Technology in association with National Council of Science Museums under the Ministry of Culture. Under this, the 5th National Science Film Festival and Competition 2015 was inaugurated in Lucknow on 4th February by the renowned filmmaker Muzaffar Ali. The film festival has drawn a large crowd of enthusiastic science filmmakers and students from across the nation who eagerly await the declaration of the prestigious Beaver Awards. Famous actor Anil Rastogi and the UNICEF in charge of UP, Nilofar Purjhand, are special guests at the event.
नेशनल साइंस फिल्म फेस्टिवल यानी राष्ट्रीय विज्ञान चलचित्र मेला, ये इसका आयोजन 4 से 8 फरवरी 2015 में हो रहा है और हम सभी का स्वागत कर रहे हैं। यहाँ देश भर से साइंस फिल्म मेकर्स आए हुए हैं। यहाँ प्रोफेशनल फिल्म मेकर भी हैं, यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट भी हैं, स्कूल से भी बच्चे आए हुए हैं जिन्होंने फिल्में बनाई हैं। तो एक बहुत साइंस फिल्म मेकर्स के लिए जो साइंस कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, जो विज्ञान, नेचर, प्रकृति, पर्यावरण, स्वास्थ्य की बात कर रहे हैं, कुछ ऐसी ही फिल्में हम यहाँ पे दर्शा रहे हैं। और 152 फिल्में हमको पूरे देश से मिली, जिसमें करीब 64 फिल्मों का चयन किया गया है और इनको एक राष्ट्रीय स्तर का अवार्ड दिया जाता है जिसे हम बेवर अवार्ड बोलते हैं, नेशनल बेवर अवार्ड। ये गोल्डन, ब्रॉन्ज, सिल्वर कैटेगरीज में होता है।
Filmmaker and member of Central Board of Film Certification, Dr. Chandra Prakash Dwivedi will chair the national panel that will decide the winners of the Beaver Awards. Around 64 films on science, technology, environment and health are competing for the Beaver Awards and will be screened at the event. The prestigious Beaver Awards, which include Golden, Silver and Bronze Beaver Awards along with cash prizes, trophies and certificates. Besides the Beaver Awards, there are also special awards for technical excellence in cinematography, editing, graphics, animation and special effects and sound recording and design. The event also hosts experts from prime organizations like Film and Television Institute Pune, Ramoji Academy of Film and Television, UNICEF, United Nations Population Fund, Doordarshan and Vigyan Prasar, who will conduct workshops on filmmaking and science popularization.
Lizards and tadpoles are known to regrow their lost body parts. The idea that the same can be done in humans has existed for decades. Unfortunately, humans and other mammals can regrow only the very tips of our fingers and toes. So what is the other option in case of a lost limb? Well, how about transplanting? A team of doctors in Kochi achieved a medical miracle recently. They successfully conducted a double hand transplant, the first transplant of its kind in the country. More in this report.
Our hands are designed to perform various functions, from enjoying a meal to using a smartphone. Hands help us do a lot of things. As far as we know, the framework and flexibility of the human hand is superior to that of any other being in the world. So when 30-year-old Manu lost both his hands after being thrown out of a moving train, he had little hope of being able to live a normal life. As Manu resigned himself to fate, a team of doctors in Kochi had something else in mind. They performed a hand transplant surgery and restored Manu's lost hands. While the transplant of internal organs like the heart, kidneys and even the lungs are a familiar concept, transplantation of limbs is relatively unheard of. Hand transplantation is a complex surgical procedure. The donor hand usually comes from a brain-dead patient.
This is the first time a hand transplant is done in the Asian subcontinent, and probably the first where a hand transplant has been done in a non-white skin. Other skin has always been white. So the importance of it that whenever hand is transplanted, your rejection is seen through the skin. So even we had telephone calls, we had a telephonic discussion from USA saying that this is the first case where a colored skin has been transplanted. So we have to document everything so that it will be a lesson for the world. So that way it has been unique.
The surgery that restored Manu's hand is the first successful double hand transplant in Asia. Doctors performed the surgery at the Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences in Kerala. The patient received the hands of a 24-year-old road accident victim in a surgery that took 16 hours and involved 20 surgeons. Manu will have full control over his new hands, with sensation increasing in 3 to 4 months. The procedure has been documented and will be studied around the world. The surgery, hailed as a victory of the expertise of the Indian medical community, offers a new ray of hope to accident victims and amputees.
When she first heard that mankind had descended from apes, the Bishop of Worcester's wife is said to have exclaimed, "Let us hope it is not true. But if it is, let us pray that it will not become generally known." Well, science has since proved that humans and apes did share a common ancestor. As anthropologists trace back human evolution, a prehistoric skull from Israel indicates that at some point during evolution, Homo sapiens, the modern man, and Neanderthals, our closest extinct human relative, lived together and may even have interbred.
Evolution of humankind is the most astonishing tale of adaptation and survival. It is estimated that the wise man, Homo sapiens, evolved around 200,000 years ago in Africa after undergoing many stages of variations and adaptations from a group of primates and later migrated to different parts of the world. Until now, it was believed that the modern man, that is Homo sapiens, evolved from our closest extinct relatives, that is Homo sapiens neanderthalensis. But a new evidence in the form of a prehistoric skull unearthed from the Menot cave in Israel's Western Galilee has led to a different theory. Now anthropologists postulate that unlike common belief, modern humans did not come from the Neanderthals but were their contemporaries instead. The skull, which is estimated to be 55,000 years old, has been discovered by a team of researchers led by Tel Aviv University anthropologist Israel Hershkovitz. The skull represents the period when modern human population started to evolve. research suggests that the individual was closely related to the first Homo sapien populations marching out of Africa. These populations later colonized Europe and on the way encountered our close cousins, the Neanderthals. The cave from where the skull was found is located along the sole land route that ancient humans could take from Africa to enter the Middle East, Asia and Europe. The skull is hence the missing link connecting the African population with the early Upper Paleolithic European population. The result of the research on the partial skull, which seems to be an important link in the story of human evolution, has been published in the journal Nature.
Now for our next segment, Tech You Can Use. While donating eyes may be one of the noblest gestures known to mankind, you can still help the visually impaired see without actually donating your sight. Yes, you heard that right. You can now become the eyes of a needy through a smartphone application. Taking mobile technology a step further, this new app uses smartphone cameras to connect blind users to sighted volunteers.
From choosing the right colors, to checking the expiration dates on food items, to finding the right doorbell on an apartment complex. These are some common chores that are extremely difficult for the blind. Donating eyes is one way to help the visually impaired. But why wait for that, when you can also help them in their daily activities through a simple smartphone application? Yes, Be My Eyes, a free mobile application currently available on iPhones, uses smartphone cameras to connect blind users to sighted volunteers. All that blind smartphone users need to do is this: use the voice-over feature of the Be My Eyes app to request assistance. The app establishes a live video connection with sighted volunteers from around the world who can help the blind with everyday tasks. A brainchild of Hans Organ Wiberg, Be My Eyes is a technology that can spread smiles across millions of faces. Currently, there are over 1 lakh registered volunteers for 8,500 blind users. The developers are now working on an Android version of the app.
Well, while you think about that app, we'll take a very short break and we'll be right back. Keep watching Science Monitor.
Hello and welcome to India's World.
Economic policies are now being literally decided not in Athens.
See, ultimately there is no such thing as a free lunch. There is too much political stakes in keeping the EU hanging together.
Watch experts debate the relationship of Greece with the European Union in India's World, only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Space travel. For the common man, it is a fascinating adventure involving sophisticated technology and a lot of free floating. But apart from the obvious excitement, there are many challenges and perils associated with space travel. The life of an astronaut is not easy in any way. When in outer space, astronauts brave many physical and physiological issues. To better understand the difficult life of astronauts, take a look at our segment In Focus.
Space travel for a common man is a glamorous and fascinating journey involving sophisticated technologies. Having watched movies like Apollo 13, Prometheus and Interstellar, it is not uncommon for most of us to wonder about the adventures that outer space has to offer. But the fact remains that only an experienced astronaut can relate to the challenges and perils associated with space travel. Far out into space, away from the familiarities of Earth and gravity, managing to stay alive is a great challenge of adaptation and readaptation. While the most modern technologies aid in sustaining life in outer space, it is none like living on the Earth. Astronauts aboard spacecrafts and space stations brave many physical and physiological issues to accomplish great scientific feats. Astronauts aboard spacecrafts and space stations brave many physical and physiological issues to accomplish great scientific feats. The discipline of space medicine is dedicated solely to study the health of astronauts. First and foremost, candidates who aspire to become astronauts undergo rigorous training which may last from 2 to 5 years to become fully qualified astronauts. The period and intensity of training differs from country to country. However, the aspiring astronauts are trained in a wide range of technical domains ranging from use of medical equipment to diagnosing and repairing the space shuttles. Space travel requires coping up with difficult environments and tense situations. Astronauts under training are generally trained in simulated hostile environments. This is often an extensive, fully immersive exercise that prepares the astronauts for the real mission. Ever wondered how astronauts manage to keep themselves clean in zero gravity? Sounds funny, but the common chores like brushing and bathing require a lot more time and effort than when performed on Earth. Astronauts use toothpaste and toothbrushes just like us, however they spit on a washcloth as they can't use sinks in space. Similarly, they use special kinds of soap and shampoos that do not require rinsing. Needless to say, they have to be extremely careful to not let the soap bubbles go all over the spacecraft. While zero gravity looks like a wonder on screen, in reality it causes both short-term and long-term health problems for the astronauts. While the temporary effects are reversible, the long-term effects may be more serious. The first effect on the health of an astronaut adjusting to zero gravity is the space adaptation syndrome. This includes nausea, vomiting, vertigo, headaches, confusion, puffy faces, nasal congestion, and lethargy. Weightlessness causes several key systems of the body to relax as it is no longer fighting the pull of gravity. Poor balance and orientation are the immediate outcome. It is common for an astronaut to confuse between up and down because the vestibular system cannot figure out the direction. Studies conducted in space and in test missions show that isolation and sleep deprivation may result in compromised immunity, making astronauts more prone to infections by microbes. They may also experience increased allergy symptoms. The long-term effects of space travel are also many and serious. On Earth, gravity is a force our bodies have to work against, which keeps our cells, bones and muscles strong. Lack of walking weakens the bones, lower back and legs, and muscles tend to lose mass. Without the compressive force of gravity, the spinal column expands and astronauts grow taller, bringing complications like backache and nerve problems. It is also seen that astronauts who remain in space for longer periods lose calcium of the bones through urine. As the bones weaken, astronauts are more susceptible to breaking them if they slip and fall, just like people with osteoporosis. Hence, while space travel looks like a marvelous feat, it is indeed a test of adaptation, resilience and survival. The environment of space is still largely unknown, so are the hazards associated with the travel to this realm. However, we can hope that future technologies such as artificial gravity and more complex biogenerative life support systems may someday be capable of mitigating some risks.
And what are the contributions of science to this week's history? Let us learn in our segment, History of Science.
75 years after appearing in 1910, on 9th February 1986, comet Halley reached its perihelion, that is, the point in the orbit where it was closest to the Sun. At perihelion, the comet was 88 million kilometers from the Sun, between the orbit of Mercury and Venus. On 9th February 1996, copernicium, the heaviest element known till date, was created by an international research team led by Peter Armbruster and Sigurd Hoffmann at the Institute for Heavy Ion Research at Darmstadt, Germany. Copernicium was created by bombarding lead-208 atoms with zinc-70 ions accelerated at high energies using a heavy ion accelerator. The chemical symbol of the element is Cn. Its nucleus consists of 112 protons and 165 neutrons, and it is 277 times heavier than hydrogen. One of the genius inventors of all time, Thomas Alva Edison, was born in Milan, Ohio on 11 February 1847. Known as the Wizard of Menlo Park, Edison is credited with the invention of the electric light bulb along with phonograph, electric vote recording machine and the motion picture camera. He is also credited with the creation of the first industrial research laboratory. Charles Robert Darwin, the father of evolution, was born on 12 February 1809 in Shropshire, United Kingdom. Though widely criticized during his time, Darwin's theory of evolution established that all species of life on Earth have descended from common ancestors and that evolution is a result of natural selection, struggle for existence, and survival of the fittest.
Let us now have a look at some important activities in the field of science and technology that are happening in India and abroad. So here is the Science Express.
Around 10,000 school children took part in the 17th edition of Terry Fox Run, organized in Mumbai on 1st February to raise money to fight cancer. Terry Fox Run is an annual charity event organized in various cities commemorating the Canadian cancer activist Terry Fox, a cancer patient who ran across Canada to raise money to fund research on cancer. The first run in Mumbai was organized 17 years ago. The 17th edition led to a fund of Rs 5 crores which will be used to help cancer patients. A team of 40 researchers working in the Wilhan's Ice Stream Subglacial Access Research Drilling Project have discovered a kind of see-through fish living in water buried under nearly 740 meters of Antarctic ice. The fish, which was found by drilling a hole through Antarctica's Ross Ice Shelf, is the biggest of all the fishes found and is thought to belong to a suborder Notothenidae. As a result of the evolutionary loss of hemoglobin, the fish has a translucent skin through which the animal's internal organs can be seen. They also have special antifreeze glycoproteins which prevent their body fluids from freezing at sub-zero temperatures. Aiming to track the amount of water locked in soil, NASA has launched a new Earth-observing satellite called the Soil Moisture Active Passive or SMAP satellite. The SMAP satellite, during its 3 years in orbit, will collect data on the amount of water locked in soil. The data will help in early prediction of droughts and floods, which in turn will help residents in low-lying regions prepare for floods and farmers get ready for drought conditions.
Well, that is all in this episode of Science Monitor. Do tell us your thoughts about our program. You can send your feedback and suggestions to our email ID news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write into us at Vigyan Prasar C24, Kutub Institutional Area, New Delhi 110016. Well, that is all we have for you today. We'll be back with fresh news stories on science and technology next week. Till then, stay tuned and think scientific.